everybody, welcome. This is Neetu and welcome to Soul Kitchen. This is the place where everything is cooked from the heart and from the soul, where love is infused into each and everything which we make and which we cook, because that I truly believe is the essence of good cooking. Things which are made from the heart to nourish not just your bodies but also your souls. And I love it. It's just love. Our food is, literally made with love, and its food is love, which is served on a platter. How wonderful is that? Truly, it takes love for someone to get up, go to the kitchen, make the effort to whip something up, and so we should always appreciate things which have been made by our family and our friends, because love goes into that. Okay. Having said that, today we're going to do another episode of gluten-free cooking. And as I said previously, this sharing gluten-free cooking is really a dream of mine come true, because when I was going through this phase of, not being able to eat gluten and dairy and coffee and chocolate and so many other things, I really experimented with so many flours, etc., because that time in India gluten-free was not really a thing, and it was very difficult to find flours which were specifically for gluten-free people, and I had to experiment a lot before I finally hit upon things which I could eat, and especially which I could bake with. That was difficult. And I've always wanted that I should be able to share these things, share these recipes with other people who may be going through similar issues. And here I am. Okay. So today we're going to be making chocolate chip cookies, with a little bit of added oats. And I'm going to be using millet flour, which is naturally gluten-free. It doesn't have any of those nasty xanthan gum, etc., which will eventually start irritating your stomach, start irritating the digestive tract, even if it's not right now. So, we should try to avoid those if we can. And this is, it's a naturally gluten-free flour, and it would be easily available online, and in India, and if you're in the US, it would be available definitely at Trader Joe's or Whole Foods Market. So check it out. Okay. Now here I have about 50 grams of butter, which I'm going to whisk up, and I think we can just do it with the hand is good enough. It's a little bit hard. Okay, not totally at room temperature. I mean, it is though at room temperature. I'm going to whip it with this, because you don't really need an electric mixer with this. I'm going to make a small batch right now. This batch is good for I would say maybe about 5 cookies or so. So, it's good. If you're craving your own little gluten-free mix, gluten-free cookies which will last for 2 or 3 days, it's perfect. Just twist the butter a little bit. To this I'm going to add a little bit of granulated sugar. All the measurements, because these are small, small serving. This is a small serving, so the measurements are quite small, and they're all going to be mentioned in the recipe in the comments below. So make sure you go through that, and everything is going to be mentioned there. And this is dark brown sugar. This is, dark brown sugar gives the cookies the moistness, and granulated sugar or caster sugar gives the cookies its crispiness. So both the sugars are equally important. Okay. Oops. Okay, whisk it up again. Just make sure all the sugar is nicely incorporated into the butter. And it's one nice homogeneous mass. To this now we're going to add half a teaspoon of vanilla extract. Just half is good enough. And we are going to add a secret ingredient which is half a teaspoon of instant coffee. Just, because gluten-free flours tend to be a little one note. So we need to add some little things to them, to amp their flavor. So here's half a teaspoon of coffee, instant coffee, and I may also add maybe 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon powder. Or slightly, actually just like a pinch of cinnamon powder. Not even 1/4 will get too much. Just a pinch is good enough. Yeah. And this is Sri Lankan cinnamon, which is the good cinnamon. And which is actual cinnamon. If it's not labeled as Sri Lankan or Ceylon cinnamon, then it's not really cinnamon. It's a thing called cassia, which looks a lot like cinnamon. It tastes like cinnamon, but it's grown in China, and it's actually not good for you. It can be very irritating to your stomach, and it's generally not good for anybody. Whereas Sri Lankan cinnamon, which is true cinnamon, is really full of antioxidants, and it's full of all good things. And there's a huge price difference. With Sri Lankan cinnamon is definitely more expensive than Chinese cassia, but please get the real stuff. I'm sure you'll be able to find it quite easily wherever you stay. So make sure you get Sri Lankan cinnamon, and that makes a difference to your health. The taste, it won't make that much of a difference, but to your health it definitely will. Now I have put my banana in the fridge because I didn't want it to get brown, so give me 1 second. This is 1/4 cup of banana, which is mashed, it's nicely mashed up, and this is going to be my egg replacer. So in this goes, and this is also going to give the cookies a nice flavor, by the way. Mix these in nicely. Make sure it's all incorporated nicely, all the sugars, everything is just nicely mixed in, all the butter is nicely mixed in, and it becomes a nice emulsified mixture. This I'm going to add my flour, and this is half a cup of millet flour, and 1/6 cup of oats, gluten-free oats, and I've also added half a teaspoon of corn flour to this. Corn flour is, kind of also binds things together, and it gives cookies a very nice softness. So in this goes slowly, like maybe two additions. Oh, and this is some baking soda for the cookies. Half a teaspoon of baking soda, I think. Or maybe it was 1/4. But anyway, the measurements will be written, in the recipe below. So. Now we are going to, once this is ready, we are going to, refrigerate these cookies just so that the flavors can intensify and develop. I'm going to refrigerate it for half an hour in the freezer, but it's, either you can do that, that's good enough, or if you want, you can also, put it in the fridge and, chill them overnight or even 1 or 2 days actually. So, whatever you fancy, just whatever's convenient for you, please go ahead and do that. Okay, so our mixture this time is ready. Yeah, it's looking like this. It's a bloppy. It looks like this. So it doesn't just fall down, you have to give it a little whack. So that's the consistency. And to this I'm going to add 100 grams of chopped up chocolate. In India we don't really get good quality chocolate chips. So if you're, of course if you're in the US, that's the best place for baking. So you have all the chocolate chips in the world. So please go ahead and use whichever one you like. I'm using chocolate, and I'm using the good stuff today. I'm using Ghirardelli, Ghirardelli chocolate, which also has some caramel in it. And this has been chopped up roughly, into small pieces, and just to have it mixed up in the entire dough. And this is about 100 grams of the chocolate. So this goes into our dough, and we mix it up. Mix it up. And now we are going to, let me add one more. This seems a little less. Yay! Chocolate. Chocolate is such a beautiful thing, isn't it? Now it can make people happy. How many things can do that? I know it can make me happy. It can make me really happy. Gosh, I sound like such a lunatic right now. Okay, so I'm just going to roughly chop this up with my hand only. Break it apart with my hand. And that's it. There's a couple of more pieces. Yeah. So we want the dough to be chock-a-block with chocolate. Chock-a-block with chocolates. Yes. Okay. Oopsie. Spilled something. Okay. Alright, now this is I'm going to put this in, this is a plate over which I've laid some parchment paper. Now we're just going to scoop this dough and put it over here so that this can go into the fridge then. Scoop like, 1 spoonful of it and just put it on the parchment so that it doesn't stick to the plate. And this is going to make it at least about 6 cookies for sure. Maybe 7. Mm, 6 cookies. That's perfect. That is really perfect. 6 cookies. Okay, they look good. They look really good. There you go. You can see those. They look really, really good. So I am going to pop them in my freezer for half an hour. And in the meantime, please turn on your ovens at 175 degrees C or 350 degrees Fahrenheit. And we're going to bake these on the middle shelf of our oven when it's, after half an hour. Alright then, I will see you soon. I guess once the cookies are done, or maybe in the middle too. Alright, see you. We are seeing these cookies too. Okay, everybody, our cookies are now ready to go into the oven, and they've chilled for half an hour. And I'm just going to lightly place them. One second. I'm going to scoop them off this plate and place them a little, about at least 2 inches apart from each other, so that they've got plenty of room to spread. And because they are going to spread for sure. So, just put them a little bit apart, and then in they go for about roughly, I would say, about 12 minutes if you like a soft baked cookie. And if you like a slightly chewy cookie, which is crispy on the outside but still soft on the inside, which is actually the perfect cookie, then it's going to bake for about 14 minutes. But the exact timing, what it takes is, I will tell you that once they're done. Okay, we'll see these cookies in about 12 minutes. Alright then. See. Our cookies have baked and they are looking absolutely delicious. They are looking so good, but they're just hot out of the oven right now. And they do have to, like, while they're on the cookie sheet, on the hot sheet, they are still baking. So we have to let these cool down for about roughly about 5 to 10 minutes before we can see how they are. And they're looking good. They haven't, they're a little bit thin, but they smell really good, and I'm sure they taste phenomenal. So let's see. Okay, okay, our cookies have cooled and they are looking really good, and they're smelling really, really good. Now let's do a big taste test. Woo! Okay, we'll take this. There you go. Oh my God, look at this. It's a perfectly done cookie. And oh my God. This just looks really good. And you have to excuse my dog. She's barking. But yeah, this looks really good. Oh my God. It's really good. No one in their right frame of mind can tell that this is a gluten-free cookie, for one. And the flavors, are just coming together so beautifully. Of the coffee, the slight cinnamon. It's a really good cookie. It's a crispy cookie. These aren't soft baked. It's a crispy cookie, but it's really, really good. It was really good. And it has, I won't say it's a crispy cookie, it's a chewy cookie. It has the crispy exterior, and the sides are crispy, but the interior is chewy. It's very chewy, and it's really good. It's really good, very good. We have a winner! Yay! Okay. I forgot to mention, when I was making the recipe, that please use salted butter, because as I said earlier, also gluten-free flours tend to be a little one note. So that the salt in the butter enhances things a lot. So please use salted butter. And the flour, millet flour, which I have used is either little millet flour or barnyard millet flour. You can use either of these flours, and both of them have a very bland flavor, which really imitates wheat very nicely. So barnyard flour or little millet flour are perfect for this. And there is no gums or nothing in these flours. It's just plain flour. As I said earlier, I've used banana. You could use egg if you want, or use a banana, half a banana. These are really good, honestly. These are really, really good cookies. So please try them if you're gluten free, or even if you're not. And by the way, millet flour is loaded with minerals. It's loaded with good things like, it has magnesium, it has zinc, it has iron. So it's a very healthy flour. So please try it and give it a go, and let me know in the comments how your recipe turned out. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask them again in the comments. And please subscribe to my channel and follow along for more lovely bakes as we go along.